It's the NBA on 2K Sports, and I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal, and we have been waiting for this day for so long, day one of the NBA season. Tonight, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks going up against the San Antonio Spurs. You take a look at the Spurs. They are sure to get a big boost from their home crowd today. Those fans have been waiting a long time for the start of the regular season and the chance to cheer their guys on to that first win. Shaq, there's nothing quite like the anticipation of opening night. Fans have waited all summer, players have waited all summer, and finally it's here. Was opening night always special for you?
It was very special. My favorite part was what I'm about to do now, Ernie. Hello to all the fans. Thanks for joining us out there. I'm excited to see you guys. I know you guys are excited to see us. I love the fans, Ernie.
Did you always do it this way with your hands up like that?
Yeah, but you also got to put the number one up. Hello, fans. It's me again. I'm here with Ernie. We love you.
Hey, everybody.
Got to show them your number one, Ernie.
It's me. It's Ernie.
Put some bass in your voice, Ernie.
It's me. It's Ernie. I'm tossing to Kevin Harlan.
Ladies and gentlemen, and just before the game, the championship ring is distributed to the players by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. And a proud moment indeed for this team and their fans. Isaiah Austin. For this day for a long time. It's opening day in the NBA. Thanks everyone for joining us here in the start of a new season. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And the Spurs start out with the ball. So let's take a look at the starters for the Dallas Mavericks. Teague out there with Crawford. Then it's Zach Randolph. Then it's Damari Carroll, and it's Cantor in at the 5 spot. Mills with it, Teague covering. Clock at 6, picked away. Kicks it to Cantor. The feed to Crawford. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Crawford's got the first 3 points of the night up on the board for Dallas.
Damari Carroll last season a consistent starter for the first time in his NBA career. I'll tell you, he really turned the corner with his three-point shot, providing a great complement to his high-energy play.
I'd say that fast break went according to plan. Yeah, it sure did. A good job getting it started and a better job finishing it off.
Aldridge, the pass to Ginobili. Drills it from outside. Ginobili's got his first 3 points of the game.
And a lot of times his first quarter seems to dictate how big of a role he plays later on, and he's off to the good start.
And Carroll known as the junkyard dog for his hustle style.
Really an athletic energy guy, Kevin. I mean, he can rebound. He runs. finishes around the rim. Always a hard worker. So no surprise that he's been able to expand his game to be more complete offensively.
In a moment here to take a look at some hustle stats for Dallas.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
Here's Brewer. The 10-footer finds the target.
I like the way they're working the ball inside because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots and typically good things happen.
Teague with the ball. And there's the pass to Randall. Fader on the way. And another basket for Dallas.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
Here's San Antonio now, trailing by 4. And, of course, this is the first they're seeing of Dallas.
And you go back to last year in the postseason. Remember, they sent this team packing when they met in round 1. So I would expect a really good battle here tonight.
It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Cantor. No good with the triple. Spurs have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Rick Carlisle and I got a chance to talk just for a bit. He talked about the respect he has for the game of LaMarcus Aldridge and how tough it will be for them to slow him down, saying Aldridge is tough because he can score facing up or with his back to the basket. And with his length, it's tough to bother his shot. We'll look to deny him the ball when we can and just try to make it as hard as possible every touch. Kevin, we'll see how successful they are.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Lopez, he's checked in for Enes Kanter. Here's Mills. And you know, like Steve mentioned, a matchup like this can spur a bit of extra intensity with the recent history being what it is.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that, Kevin. I agree. I mean, you always want to show up strong, but definitely this is a game both teams want to win. Pride is a real factor here.
Now here's Ginobili. And Brewer kicks to Duncan. Just 5 to shoot. The score now all even.
Picture perfect with the turnaround. There's no stopping that shot.
And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Here's Teague. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Crawford kicks to Lopez. Puts up the baby hook. The shot is good off the backboard.
But you got to love his determination on the glass, coming out of the gate strong.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. Then for the Mavericks, Channing Frye's checked in for Randolph. Richardson comes in for DeMarre Carroll. And Devin Harris subbed in for Jamal Crawford.
It's interesting that the Mavs almost exclusively built through free agency. They make draft picks, but they always seem to have a hand in free agency come July.
And so here is Dallas following the 3-pointer by San Antonio. Teague left side from the baseline. San Antonio with the rebound. Allen with it. Devin Harris covering. Nelson, no one around him. And again, it's the Spurs from deep.
Seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
Yeah, they're making the right play, they're working together, and they're just looking for the best shot they can every possession.
Now here's Lopez. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. 6 to shoot. Back to Teague. From deep 3-point range, the shot is off. Spurs leading by 4. Clark, this offense has really been clicking.
No doubt about it, giving the defense all kinds of trouble.
And they're playing with so much energy offensively. The ball is really moving.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Yeah, the shots have been falling, that's for sure. The offense really in a good groove.
On the wing, Jason Richardson. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Richardson's got his first 3 points of the game.
Nice pass that time. What excellent vision by Jeff Teague out there.
And a good game so far as we conclude the first quarter. Spurs lead by 3. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And a moment now to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from here for the Spurs.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Mavericks trailed by 3. Allen is out there with Austin. Then there's Ryan Hollins. Then it's Jameer Nelson, and it's Green in at the 2 guard. So that's who San Antonio starts the second rep. Now here is Harris. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Shot clock at 6. Teague for 3. The shot is off. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Jameer Nelson drafted 20th back in 2004. He's played all 10 of his NBA seasons with the Magic. But as they go young, he has moved on. All-Star back in 2009. Clark just a solid veteran leader at the point guard position. Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, guys, Coach Greg Popovich, the reigning coach of the year, a big part of his approach is empowering players. He says, quote, it's a player's game, and they've got to take charge. Rather than try to manipulate them, he said, it's a great feeling when players get together and do things as a group. Kevin?
Thanks, Doris.
You know, giving his players room to lead and allowing them to take ownership, I mean, I think that's part of the genius of Popovich.
And the basket by Austin.
And you talk about that All-Star campaign for Nelson in 09. Almost had a 50-40-90 season. He missed it by a percentage point in free throw shooting. But it shows his shooting touch, especially in his younger days, was elite.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. And Nelson's shooting has waned as he's entered his 30s. Leg injuries, Steve, have hampered his play.
Yeah, the full-time starter since his 3rd season, probably transitioning to a reserve role as he gets older, but he remains a great locker room guy, a true professional. You know, it wouldn't surprise me to see him coaching, in fact, once he's done as a player.
So both teams making some changes here. Now that we have a chance, let's go to the 2K leaderboard and reveal last season's top shot blockers. 5th is Tim Duncan.
I think he cares more about shot blocking than any other element of his game, guys. Takes so much pride in it. That's why he was where he was on that list.
And so it's Dallas with him. Cantor kicks to Crawford. Inside to Randolph. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Randolph's got his 3rd basket of the night.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Rick Carlisle was going over with his team in that last huddle. He told them they should be dedicating themselves to hitting the offensive glass with everything they've got from now on, even if that means it takes them away from defensive transition. He also wants them using a fundamental offensive approach. Specifically, he'd like to see them running the pick and roll as often as they can. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris.
Well, Dallas coach Rick Carlisle has demonstrated his versatility throughout his coaching stops in Detroit, Indiana, and Dallas. Not really assistant coach. He adapts to the talent that he has on each individual team and goes accordingly.
Back to Green. Mills dishes to Duncan. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Here's Brewer. And right away, they match it with a 3-pointer of their own. Brewer's got 5 points so far. Mavericks trail by 5. And Carlisle presiding over a more half-court, station-to-station style of play in Detroit and Indiana. He's embraced a more up-tempo style, it seems, in Dallas.
Yeah, and he's got an offensively gifted team with the Mavs, and he's always been an innovator using zone defenses to hide weaker defenders and to keep opponents off balance. And again, another example of how the outstanding coaches don't stand pat. They're always learning, growing, and adjusting to give their teams the best chance to win.
Good thought. Here is Harris after the basket by San Antonio. Outside Randolph. Right side Randolph. It's rebounded by Aldridge. Spurs leading by 7. Duncan, the pass to Green. He feeds it to Mills. Outside Green. 13 feet away. Another one falls for San Antonio.
They've had the hotter hand in the first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
Harris kicks to Randolph. Feeds to Carroll. Passes it to Harris. Carroll dishes to Randolph. To the middle. Here's Crawford. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Crawford's got 7 points in the game.
Well, they're not shooting as many from outside here in the second quarter.
Well, they were shooting well early on. I like their spacing and their offensive flow. I think they need to get back to that.
Now here's Duncan. He has 6, and he gets it to go. Mavericks trailed by 9. Harris outside. Dishes it to Randolph. Back to Harris. Crawford, no one around him. Brewer with the rebound.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
And he may be the guy to put this game even farther out of reach.
Crawford with the ball. He has 7. To the wing on the left. Harris outside. And so we wrap up the first half. Spurs out in front. They're up by 11. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach Popovich, a strong first half for you. Was the up-tempo pace part of the game plan?
Well, we've upped the pace. That's what we need to do because we're not as good a defensive team as we used to be, so something's got to give somewhere.
Pop, thanks for the time, guys.
Thank you, Doris, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for the third quarter of basketball. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. One of the top stories here, Tim Duncan getting it done today.
Yeah, he played a very mature first half offensively, just finding gaps and making good decisions, getting into the defense and knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, that's exactly what we're talking about when we say offensive efficiency.
And the Mavericks with possession here. 11-point game. While we've got a moment, let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the floor right now for the Mavericks, they've got Damari Carroll out there. Crawford out there with Teague. Then it's Zach Randolph. And it's Cantor in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. San Antonio's gone a very strong 4 for 5 from three-point land in the ball game.
Well, Tim Duncan, when asked about his retirement plans right after the 2013 finals, refused to dignify the question with the response. But last season's Spurs run answered loudly enough.
Good. And that's now 9 points for Jamal Crawford.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, the Spurs, not necessarily a glamour franchise, but maybe the NBA's model franchise. The longest streak of 50-win seasons in league history, 5 championships, and a litany of former Spurs working as head coaches and GMs around the league. Tim Duncan said people aren't envious of their image, but they're envious of how they run things. They get it done, Kevin.
They sure do. An incredible run. Thanks, Doris. With this stoppage in play, we have a chance now to show you which teams led the league in three-point percentage last year. Number 1, the Spurs. Second, the Mavericks.
Kevin, talk about taking care of business, man. I tell you what, both of these teams took care of business from behind that three-point arc. They had a number of outstanding three-point shooters, and those guys were on target most of the year.
Here in this third quarter, just over a minute play. Here's Carroll, covered by Brewer. Pass to Carroll, fires the three. Rebounded by the Spurs. And again, San Antonio running the court in transition, and the shot is good. Mills has got his second bucket of the night.
Pedal to the metal right now, really pushing it.
Yep, 3 of their last 5 makes coming in transition, guys.
You know, the Spurs, because of their way of conducting business and their low-key personality, have never really been ratings darlings for the NBA, despite being considered and respected as a model franchise in the league. The team's color of silver and black, I think, fits their style. It's not really flashy or gaudy, but it does point out their business-like approach and how precise they play and how much they win.
And we're seeing the shots just dropping from everywhere right now.
Yeah, since halftime, Steve, they've been operating very efficiently.
Outside Teague. Inside to Randolph. And stolen by Aldridge. And stolen by Jeff Teague. And it's the Mavericks on the break. Crawford passes to Teague. That's tipped. Brewer with the steal. There's the dish to Mills. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Mills has got 6.
And you look at the Spurs' lack of branding, if you will. It starts from the top down, from Coach Popovich to Tim Duncan. They don't court media attention. They're close to the vest. All business, all about winning.
Now here's Randolph. He's got 6. He used that pick to get in close. Teague's got his first points of the night.
Late reaction from the defense, and he's always going to make good on that.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Hollins is checked in, and it's Allen in for Brewer. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Robin Lopez is checked in for Cantor. Fry comes in for Zach Randolph. Richardson, he's checked in for Damari Carroll. And Harris subbed in for Jamal Crawford. And the Spurs look for a certain kind of player, Clark. I know you're interested in this. The players they get are uninterested in the spotlight. Pop calls them guys that have gotten over themselves.
That's a great way to phrase it, because they're others-focused and not self-focused. And that's something that really lends itself well in a culture which glamorizes the eye and not the group. And you can see it in the Spurs. They are all about business, and all of the extra stuff is not what appeals to them. They're interested in winning and having fun and enjoying each other, and that's why they're a championship organization and team.
That's a good blueprint.
Yes, it is.
Once again, Manu Ginobili defied age and was a force off the bench for the Spurs. Just when you thought he was slowing down, he seemed to find new ways to score and contribute.
And Ginobili, Clark, when he's right, boy, he can do it all.
Yeah, he really can. Offensively, he can drive and shoot and create for others. He's an outstanding passer and a terrific defender.
Here's Hollins. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. That's called on Channing Frye.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You could hear the impact from where I am. Well, what can you say about the Spurs at home? I mean, they've been dominant here for so long, it's a shock whenever they lose at home.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Green kicks to Nelson. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. Nelson's got 5 now. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for the Spurs.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
The Spurs were dominant at home once again, as you mentioned, guys. 32 wins for them, Steve, and they shot great, absolutely great in this building.
Well, you don't win 50 games for 15 straight years, Kevin, without being dominant at home, and that's what the Spurs have done. So they just get the job done. I mean, they're tough to beat here in San Antonio, and obviously a wonderful shooting ball club.
Now, here is Nelson. He's got 5. Allen dishes to Hollins. Takes it off the glass. Hollins has got 6 in the quarter.
Boy, what a nice third quarter surge they've got going on right now.
You know, Steve, never a better time than the third quarter in my mind to get the momentum going your way.
Here is Harris. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Richardson, that's a 2-pointer. Can't get it to go. Now San Antonio takes it the other way.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Clark. Their rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
Green passes to Aldridge. And it's San Antonio with another.
Everything's falling now, and this lead continues to increase.
Yeah, it's just way too hard to keep up with a scoring pace like this. I mean, and that's why the defense is having a tough time.
Nobody near Allen. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Woo-hoo, Kevin. They're firing on all cylinders. That shot caps a nice run going into the final quarter.
Tune in for a scary night of basketball. Halloween in the NBA. Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs go up against the Phoenix Suns. Friday night, NBA Hoops. Be there.
And it's time to bring up the State Farm assist of the game.
Well, it had to be this play, don't you think, Kevin?
Sure.
This is just a phenomenal pass. Made the defense look like they had no idea what was going on.
What precision with that pass.
Beautiful.
San Antonio's gone a terrific 5 of 6 from beyond the arc in this game. They've got Nelson. Ryan Hollins is out there with Austin. Then it's Allen, and it's Ingles in at the 3. And that's who's in the game for the Spurs. Now here's Austin. The turnaround jumper. Count it. Austin's got the first points up on the board here in the 4th for San Antonio. Here's Barton. Here's Randolph. That one goes. Count it.
Kevin, he's been a bright spot in what's otherwise been a little bit of a struggle for this team.
And here's Nelson. He kicks to Hollins. Good, and a nice assist from Nelson. Nelson's got his 4th assist in this one.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
Here's Ingles. The Mavericks pull it in. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. That game is the first and last of their homestand.
Yeah, and you know the fans out in Utah are hoping for a win. That's a big game.
Now, here's Salmons. He dishes it to Barton. And that one's good.
Really aggressive play, taking it to the rim against the big man.
Tell you what, I love that fearless attitude.
The Spurs have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the 4th quarter started. Just over a minute and a half played here in the 4th.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
And so here is Dallas.
Well, jersey advertising, an idea that had been bandied about for a long while. Last season, in lieu of that, the league tested out advertising on the court apron for the first time, as well as a small ad on the top of the backboards. So the league, of course, always looking for new revenue streams.
Randolph, the second chance points on the tip in.
Hard work and soft hands, guys. That's what made that play possible.
No simple offensive rebound there, going for the tip in.
But that's the way you've got to go. If you have good position, you got to get after it and go for that second chance opportunity.
Just under 2.5 minutes gone here in the final quarter. And Steve, you mentioned the apron advertising. It's only being allowed for locally broadcast games.
And I think that makes sense, Kevin. Viewers probably see it more than they would see stitching on a player's jersey, and I think keeping the ads off the court and the players is a good line to draw.
Here's Austin after the made shot from Zach Randolph. And Nelson gets it to go.
You know, passing the ball well on the perimeter has really opened things up offensively for this club.
Steve, it makes the game easy. I mean, 10 straight points off assist. That's impressive, but it's easy when you move the ball.
Salmons from outside. Rebound, San Antonio. 1:57 left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Allen. Lots of room. And it's San Antonio with another.
Beautiful ball movement again.
Last 5 trips, they've all ended with a great pass leading to a basket, Steve. I mean, they are really sharing the basketball.
Here's Barton. Kicks it to Salmons. The feed now to Randolph. It's rebounded by Austin. Austin's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for San Antonio.
But, Steve, you know, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out, Clark, this kind of punishment to
Well,
him.
you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
Well, they can chalk this win up, but things are far from settled between these two teams. They'll see each other 3 more times before the season is over.
And they say familiarity breeds contempt. As they get to know each other a little better, you imagine things will get heated up. Tonight was only chapter 1.
A second chance effort, and it's good on the way in.
And Steve, not only is their lead big, but their advantage on the boards is huge too.
Yep, well deserved. I mean, they have worked their tails off on the glass.
Now, here's Richardson. We've got 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Randolph. Puts up the baby hook, and it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Obvious foul.
Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
Shooting for Dallas, Zach Randolph. 2 shots.
Free throw drops for Zach Randolph. So it's both teams making substitutions here. And Zach Randolph drops them both. For San Antonio, they've gone 8 of 10 from the field here in the fourth quarter, really getting it done. For Dallas, they've gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. T kicks to Randolph. Here's Salmons. The shot from the low post is good.
And he was 1 step ahead of the defense when he fired that pass for the assist.
And here's Nelson. The pass to Austin. Puts up a 3. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, Tim, even though we're still early on in the year for the San Antonio Spurs team, with the expectations of another strong postseason run ahead of you, is this season's campaign in getting a top seed going into the playoffs as important as it's ever been?
Oh, it's huge for us. It's huge for us. We want it badly, and we're going to continue to play as hard as we can and take every game as seriously as we can, and hopefully we can end up with it.
Tim, we appreciate your time, guys. Always a pro's pro.
Thank you, Doris. And, folks, that about concludes our broadcast tonight. For Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching as we leave you with our Jordan Player of the Game, Corey.
I've been rapping for about 17 years, okay? I don't write my stuff anymore. I just kick it from my head, you know what I'm saying? I can do that. No disrespect, but that's how I am.